It was late October when Ben, a young journalist from Boston, took a short trip to Maine to cover a piece on historic lighthouses along the rugged coast. He had always been fascinated by them, the way they stood as silent sentinels against the crashing Atlantic. One stormy evening, he arrived at the old Greyhaven Lighthouse, perched on a jagged cliff overlooking the sea. It had been abandoned for years, but locals whispered about its last keeper, a man named Elias Grayson, who had vanished without a trace decades ago. The lighthouse was weather-beaten, paint peeling, and the door creaked loudly as Ben pushed it open. Inside, the smell of salt and decay hung thick. Rusty railings spiraled upward, and the circular staircase groaned under his weight. Dust covered the old logbook on the counter, and a brass lantern sat untouched, as if waiting. The storm outside grew louder, waves smashing against the rocks below, but inside, the silence was heavier, almost suffocating. As he climbed, Ben noticed the walls were lined with photographs. Elias, smiling at the camera, always in uniform, always staring directly at the lens. But the dates stopped suddenly, mid-1970s. A chill ran down his spine. He reached the lantern room at the top, the glass windows streaked with rain. Lightning flashed, illuminating the endless waves, and for a moment, he thought he saw a figure standing on the cliff below, pale against the dark rocks. When he blinked, it was gone. He shook his head, chalking it up to fatigue and the storm, and began examining the logbook. Entries detailed the daily routines, weather conditions, ship sightings, even occasional notes about strange noises at night. One entry caught his attention. October 28, 1974. Heard whispering from the sea. Someone or something is calling. Must stay alert. The words were scrawled hurriedly, letters trembling. Suddenly, a faint tapping echoed from the spiral staircase below. Ben froze. Tap, tap, tap. Irregular, deliberate. He called out, but only the wind answered. He told himself it was a branch hitting the window or the building settling. Yet the sound persisted, growing closer with every step. Then he heard a low voice, almost a whisper, carrying over the storm. "Don't leave. Don't leave." Ben's heart pounded. He considered descending, but something compelled him to stay, to see. He walked around the lantern room, eyes scanning the cliff below. Lightning revealed nothing, only endless waves, but when thunder rolled, the voice came again, closer now, almost behind him. He spun around. No one was there, but the air felt heavy, like the room itself was breathing. A sudden cold swept across the room. Ben's flashlight flickered and died. Panic surged. The voice whispered again, louder, echoing, "Stay forever." Then through the darkness, he felt it. A hand, icy and firm, resting on his shoulder. He whirled, but again, nothing. His stomach churned as he realized he wasn't alone. The photographs on the walls now seemed wrong. The eyes of Elias in each frame appeared to move, tracking him as he trembled. Ben ran down the spiral staircase, but each step groaned like a scream. Shadows stretched unnaturally along the walls. At the bottom, the entryway door wouldn't budge. He pushed and pulled, but it was locked from the outside. A whispering chant filled the room now. Multiple voices, all faint, overlapping. The sea, the keeper, Join, join. He turned to flee through the windows, but the storm raged higher, waves smashing, wind ripping at the glass. Desperate, he climbed back up to the lantern room, thinking maybe he could signal for help. The stormlight outside flickered, and in a flash of lightning, he saw the figure again. Elias Grayson, standing at the cliff edge, eyes hollow, uniform soaked, hand raised as if beckoning. The figure didn't move with the wind or waves. It simply floated there, watching. Then Elias's mouth opened and the whisper carried clearly, "You're the keeper now." Ben stumbled backward, tripping over the lantern. The last thing he remembered before losing consciousness was the beam of the lighthouse, turning on by itself, cutting across the stormy sea, illuminating nothing but black water and jagged rocks. When he awoke, it was morning, quiet, sun cutting through the clouds. The lighthouse door stood open, inviting, as if nothing had happened.